marriage. Everyone accepts it. Ritual! That's why I was so heartened when Alfred asked me to perform the ceremony. He has certain beliefs that I assume you all know. He is an atheist, which is perfectly all right. Really, it is. I happen not to be. But insofar as the ceremony connotes an abandonment of ritual in the search for truth, I agreed to perform it. First, let me say frankly to you, Alfred, and to you, Patricia, that of the 200 ceremonies I have performed, all but 7 have failed. So the odds are not good. We don't like to admit that, especially at the wedding ceremony. It's in the back of all our minds, isn't it? How long will it last? We all think that, don't we? We don't like to bring it out into the open, but we all think that. Don't we?
Yeah!
Well, I say, why not bring it out to the open? Why does one decide to marry? Social pressure, boredom, loneliness, sexual appeasement. Love. I do not put any of these reasons down. Each of them is all right in its own way. Each of them is perfectly adequate. Get up! I married a musician last month who wanted to get married in order to stop masturbating. Please, don't be startled! I'm not putting it down. That marriage did not last. He is separated and still masturbating. He is at peace with himself. So you see, it was not a mistake. It turned out all right. I married a novelist to a painter, with everybody in the ceremony under the influence of hallucinogenic drugs. Drugs quicken our mental responses, but slow our physical responses. That ceremony took 2 days to perform. Never had the word so much meaning. That marriage should last. But still, if it does not, that would be all right. Don't you see? Anything is useful, is positive, has to be positive, because it is part of life. The negation of the previously taken step is also positive. It too is part of life. And in this light, and only in this light, must marriage be regarded as a small, single step. If it works, fine. If it fails, fine. Look elsewhere for satisfaction, perhaps to other marriages, as many as one likes. Fine. To homosexuality. Fine. To drug addiction. I'm not putting it down. Each of these is an answer for somebody. For Alfred, today's answer is Patricia. For Patricia, today's answer is Alfred. What I implore you both to dwell on as I ask the questions legally required by the state of New York, to bind you that sinister phrase is that not only are the legal questions I ask you meaningless, but so too are the inner questions you ask yourselves meaningless. sexual disappointment does not matter. Sexual betrayal does not matter. Nothing can hurt us if we don't see it as hurtful. Nothing can destroy us if we don't see it as destructive. It's perfectly all right. It's part of what we all are. So, now, Alfred, do you take Patricia as your lawfully wedded wife to love, whatever that means, to honor, but is not dishonor in the sense of form of honor? Oh, in sickness, and in health, in adversity, in properity. What nonsense! Forsaking all others? What a shocking invasion of privacy! Rephrase all of that to more sensibly say, if you choose to have affairs with others, you won't feel guilty about them, as long as you're both alive and not bored with one another. So, Patricia, do you take Alfred as your lawfully wedded husband to love? That harmful word! Can't we more wisely say to communicate? To honor? Meaning, I suppose, you won't chop his balls off. Yet some men like that. To obey? Well, my very first look at you told me you were not one to obey. So I went through the thesaurus and came up with a few alternatives. To be loyal, to show fealty, to show devotion, to answer the helm, to be pliant. General enough, I would think, and still leave enough room to dominate. In sickness and in health, and all the rest of that gobbledygook as long as you shall live. Alfred and Patricia! Patricia! I know now that whatever happens will be all right. And Patricia's father, Carol Newquist. I've never heard that name on a man before, but I'm sure it's all right. I ask you to feel no guilt over the $250 check you gave me to mention the deity in tonight's ceremony. What you have done is all right. It is a part of what we all are. And Patricia's brother, Kenneth Newquist, in whose room I spent a few moments earlier, and whose mother proudly told me that the decoration was by your hand entirely, I beg you to feel no shame